All right, good people. Let's get this popping today. All right, I was gonna do a video last night of the game between the Storm and the Fever, which the Fever got lost 103-88, which they got blitzed in the third quarter pretty badly, like I think 35-36-18, something like that, or 11, something like that. But nevertheless, they was in the game. They was down 6 at halftime, where NaLyssa Smith had a good game. She scored like 14 points in the first half. Didn't do as much in the second half. Caitlin ended up with 20. Leo Boston continuously to get in foul trouble. But she came on the second half once the game was pretty much out of hand. So there was really nothing they could really do about it. But besides all of that, the game was pretty pretty fiery. Caitlin and Victoria Vivians that used to play for the Fever last year, they got into it a little bit. You know, Caitlin cooked her ass on a three-pointer, and pretty much Caitlin didn't see her, and she bumped into her, and Vivian nudged her with a forearm, and then they just joined. So that's pretty much, but I'll show you that video of the whole incident because everybody's trying to say, you know, what was happening, or there was some racial slurs going on, or whatever the case may be. I don't know what the words were saying, but it ticked Caitlin off because I think Vivian shoving her kind of like pissed her off. That's what it was. If she had just, you know, went back or whatever, because sometimes players do everything. But specifically, I checked out this guy's video this morning, and he gave a pretty good assessment to what. But I do want to show y'all the press conference with Caitlin and Chrissy Sides, because Chrissy Sides finally got a tech, you know, after Caitlin, you know, got received a double tech. This is Caitlin's third tech in the last couple of games. But Christie Sides came out a week, you know, last game, said, oh, that they don't need to get a tech. They spent too much time talking to the referees. They they let me get a tech. So last night it was pretty evident that Christie Sides finally, I guess, had enough. They got a tech. She got a tech. But at the same time, you should have been doing this from the beginning of the season. You should have been doing this to, you know, get in the referee's face and say, hey, look, this is going on. If this doesn't change, I will go to the front office about it. You know, my players getting beat up, and I will be talking to the front office. And something Chrissy Sides need to say in our press conference, say, look, I will be talking to the front office about it. I think it's pretty, you know, because it's the difference between fouling, playing physical, than just literally beating on a person. You know what I'm saying? You're beating on a person and the referees are sitting there literally not calling nothing. But before I even get into depth, I'm going to let y'all listen to what CC has to say.
Just for either of you guys, it just felt like a frustrating night, primarily on the defensive end in that third quarter. Just what were your takeaways from what they threw at you?
Yeah, definitely the third and the fourth, or mostly the third quarter, is kind of where we lost the game. I just thought our defensive rotations were bad. Like, we were good in the first rotation, but the second rotation was just never there. And, you know, when you give up that many points in the second half, it's going to be hard to win. So,
Matt, go ahead.
Yeah, Caitlin, what kind of happened in the second quarter with the double technical? It seemed like you and Victoria were kind of jawing at each other after that made three.
yeah, two competitive people and hit us with the double tech. Honestly, that's about it.
NaLyssa, why do you feel like this team's defense hasn't clicked in the way you wanted yet this season?
I feel like if I knew why, we would probably figure it out, man. So, I mean, like she said, it's just about making that extra effort to rotate, you know. Just it sounds simple, but just taking pride in defense and, you know, guarding your man, helping on help side, you know, controlling things that you can control, like back cuts and, like, getting over screens, talking more. So I'd say just that.
Okay.
Caitlin, you kind of said just that you and Victoria kind of got into it just because of the competitive nature that you have. Seems like just right out of the gate, even as a rookie? Like, you've came in and kept the same competitive nature that you had in college. I mean, was that how does that happen, and how do you find that switch where you're just as competitive as you are?
Yeah, I think just being competitive is who I am. It's what I've done my whole career. I think at times there's ways I can probably channel it a little bit better, but that's just basketball at the end of the day. No, that's never gonna change. I'm never gonna lose that. I feel like I'm getting hammered. I don't know. I appreciate Christie getting a tech too. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, and you said that you feel like you can channel it a little bit better. Are you ever able to channel your frustration into competitiveness? I mean, how does that correlate?
I think that's what I try to do every single time. Is like those moments, like you just want to turn it into a competitive fire and go out there and play, and that's my goal.
George, we can go ahead without the mic there unless. Okay.
NaLyssa, you returned to the starting lineup today, get your 1,000th career point. Can you just talk about those two things happening?
Yeah, I mean, it's a blessing to reach 1,000 points in 3 years. I don't take this game for granted. So every time I'm on the floor, I'm going to give everything I got. So, I mean, our goal is to win here, man. I'm just, so ready to win. It's not a good feeling just losing all these games when we have so much talent in this room. So, I don't know, just ready to get back to winning. Good.
Yeah, Caitlin, in the first half, it kind of seemed like it was your most disciplined performance, I guess is the way to put it, not turn the ball over, shot selection, getting to the basket. How do you think that your first half shaped up to, all the games prior and in your performance?
Yeah, I thought I played a good first half. I think really of my 2 turnovers, I only felt like a couple of them were bad. Like, there's still like a few in transition that are, I'm willing to take the risk there. But other than that, like, shot the ball well, took good shots. I feel like my shot selection all year has been really good. I felt my shot selection in the second half was really good. There were just shots that didn't go down. A couple open threes that I usually make, a couple layups that I usually make. Yeah, I mean, it would have been nice to make a few more baskets, but that's basketball. That's how it goes. Take care of the ball a little bit better. I don't know. It was nice to see Lou get going there in the second half too. So the more we can do that, it's not really about offense. It was our defense. The offense was fine. We scored 88 points, but you're not going to win a basketball game giving up 103. So,
Chloe.
Yeah, NaLyssa, you mentioned you wanted to get back to winning. Do you think the issues are kind of like chemistry with not being together for very long, or defense, or just like a combination of everything?
Defense. That's it. It's just defense. I feel like our chemistry is there. I mean, we play well offensively. Like she said, we could score with anybody in this league. It's just about our defense.
Finish up with Kyle there, second round. Or Bob, go ahead.
Caitlin, you played all but 4 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Was that surprising to you, and do you think Coach Sides was trying to send a message?
I don't think she's trying to send a message. I'm not sure what message exactly you would be referring to, but I mean, it wasn't surprising. I think, that's kind of what this team needed. I felt like I might have got a little bit winded there in the second half, so I need to be able to find a second gear to kick into to help this team win a little bit better. I thought I got a little lackadaisical on defense. Kind of got caught breathing and standing a few times. Wasn't moving as crisp on offense, so I think that'll, come, We're playing so many games, and, I get a little beat up, and then playing 40 minutes on top of that, it can be hard at times, but, I'm still lucky. Like, I wouldn't change it for the world, so,
Kyle, last one.
Yeah, and I guess just like on a bit of a lighter note, Caitlin, like I feel like there's a side of you that people might not see. Like before the game, you're kind of playing around with assistant coaches' kids. See, I don't know if you saw, but there was a sign in the crowd that said there was someone who traveled from Utah to come watch you play.
All right. So you heard a couple of things from the media asking CC about the incident and everything like that. And she says competitive. She didn't want to get into, and she also alluded to in this press conference about getting the physicality. There's a difference between physicality and getting beat the hell up. And the thing about it is, the referees literally did not call anything much in the game against the Fever. They literally, Caitlin drove on the baseline. Girl was draped all over her. No foul call. The ball got stolen. She lost the ball. The ball got stolen, and it went down. Now, they will call little fouls for Berger and all of them. Even Leah Boston gets beat up on it. Even NaLyssa Smith was getting beat up, and they wasn't calling anything. It's like, who are these fucking referees, to be honest with you? Who are these referees? Now, I was listening to one guy, I said this morning, and he had it perfectly. They are applying the Jordan rules to Caitlin Clark. That's as simple as that. They're playing 90s-style basketball. They're applying the Jordan rules to her because even the announcers on the game last night literally said that this girl gets double-teamed, blitz more than any player in the league. There ain't no player gets that same treatment. Not Diana Taurasi, not Breanna Stewart, not Lloyd from Seattle gets that treatment. Not Angel Wilson, she doesn't get that treatment. There is no other. No, even Sabrina Ionescu, she doesn't even get that treatment. Now, somebody on Twitter has said, "Oh well, Kelsey Plum gets that treatment." No, the F she does not. Kelsey Plum does not get that treatment because Kelsey Plum do not shoot. Kelsey Plum could score, but she ain't shooting fucking threes that could break your back like that. And Kelsey Plum more is a distributor now. She gets a shot. I give her credit. She gets a shot. Mobley, for the guard for the Chicago Sky, she doesn't even get blitzed like that. I was watching her last night, and she's nice. To me, I would love to. I know it's not gonna happen, but Mobley and Marina Mobley and Caitlin Clark on the same team, that would have been fire. That would have been fire because they both feisty, and they I think Caitlin's just a little bit more fluid than her, but Mobley is nice. She can shoot. She's a good shooter. I watched her last night. I'm not taking away from the Seattle Storm because they played a great game. They did what they needed to do. They knew coming into the game that the Fever was down 2 people. They was going to play some people that they never played it all season. You know, even though Berger got a lot of burn, Lexi Smith didn't play that as well. I'm glad they took, what's the girl? Wallace out because she was missing shots. If the Fever had hit shots in the first quarter that was wide open, they could have probably had a really decent lead. Then they didn't start knocking down shots until late in the third and then into the fourth quarter, and that's where Samuelson, she started hitting a couple of threes, you know. But NaLyssa Smith, she led the way in the first quarter. Cece came on throughout the first and the second. She kind of coasted a little bit in the third, and I think third and the fourth after the game kind of got it. They was kind of demoralized. The team was kind of demoralized. But let's make no mistakes. If the WNBA or the commissioner do not take control of these referees literally being physical with Caitlin Clark, people gonna stop tuning out to watch because the Fever fans ain't gonna be there no more because I think they was getting a crowd up to 1,800. I think from what I read, it's down to about 15 now because the team is losing. And people are not going to continue to come as frequently if the team continues to lose. The team done lost 8 games. They only won 1. They have a tough game against the Sky and Angel Reeston tomorrow, which that's going to be a marquee game. Then you're going to have somebody like, you got New York back-to-back. Then you got a whole stretch where you need everything. It does not make no sense for players to come out there and beat this girl up the way they doing. Yeah, I understand that Donna Rush say, oh, reality is going to set in. Well, hell, maybe this is what she's talking about. You know, they're going to be physical with her. They know this girl is deadly. They know this girl could shoot. Did they know this girl could pass? Did they know this girl could do everything? She's literally walking into the WNBA as the Michael Jordan of the WNBA. Everybody can say what they will. They can say what they want. But this girl gets more attention than any other player. Angel Reese don't get that much attention. Now, she's a low post player, so she's going to get double teamed because she impacts the game rebounding her. But as a scorer, she doesn't. Because she really only had a few points last night because the sky was blowing out their team. You know what I'm saying? Even Cameron Brink didn't have a good game last night. Angel Reese had that last few seconds, and they made it be like, and everybody on Twitter like, oh, wow, oh, look at Angel Reese. Let's see what she do tomorrow night. You know, yeah, Camila Cardozo is going to be there. So it's going to be tough because which one of them is going to outshine the other? Because Angel Reese knows that, hey, Caitlin Clark, me and her got this problem. Camila Cardozo like, oh, well, we beat them too. I want to show her. So now, which one of them is going to like, oh, well, you know, try to outperform each other just to prove one of them could beat Caitlin Clark. Now, the technical fouls from Chrissy's sides. Before I get into that, I'm gonna show you the incident that took place last night. All right, as you see, what it was, Caitlin Clark shot it. She rolled off the screen by Boston, got it, pull up a three, and backed up. You know, she was backing up, and she kind of like bumped into Vivian's. Now Vivian's shoved her off where Vivian's could have hey, Cece, watch out, you know. But she didn't do that. She shoved her, and so blatantly, Caitlin turned around, got in her face, like, hey, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Then Cece got in her face, and Vivian's got in her face and started saying something to her, and then they both start jarring. You know what I'm saying? Then Leah Boston came and grabbed Caitlin, and then Skylar Diggins came. But all in all, these players is trying to ruffle Caitlin. Now, my advice to Caitlin is continue to hold your composure, because now these players are, this incident right here can easily carry over to tonight's game and Sunday's game, because the fact that this is what they're going to do. They're going to like, oh, well, we can rattle her now. She's going to get mad. We could get in her head. You know what I'm saying? And what she's got to do is take that mentality like Steph Curry and Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant, and get that mama mentality and say, look, it don't matter what you do to me. You can't stop me, period. You can't stop me. And this is what it leads up to, because they can't stop her. The only way they can stop her is blitzing her and doubling her, because they know for a fact. And they do it because there ain't nobody else on the Fever that can really take the pressure off of her. Now, if NaLyssa Smith comes out tomorrow night and have another game, because I'm sure Angel Reese probably will be on her. Camila will probably be on Boston. You know what I'm saying? I think Mobley probably will have to have her hands tied with Mitchell. And this is where Mitchell got to take advantage of that shit easily tomorrow night. And then whoever's going to be on Caitlin is going to have a handful. And then you probably, I will start Berger. I won't even start Lexi. I won't even start Samuelson. I won't never bring new. I will bring somebody fast. I will play Berger in, or, you know what I'm saying, or let Celeste Taylor come in to start. Let her be and then you can roll off screens, because the thing about it is, Angel Reese, she could play out, but she likes being under the basket. Camila Cardozo can play out, but she likes being under the basket. If Boston and NaLyssa Smith take advantage of that matchup, you know what I'm saying, it would be really easy for Caitlin them to get in the groove, especially if you get like Caitlin and Mitchell to drive to the basket and make some layups. That could really put pressure on Chicago. There's a vantage point there, but they also gonna have to defend the 3-point line better. The Fever have to do, because the fact of the matter is, Chicago do got quick guards. You know what I'm saying? That one girl, I forgot, she's really, really fast. So it's going to be interesting to see tomorrow night how this matchup is going to play out. But the key is they going to try to, now they guards, you know, I'm sure they could probably use Angel Reese and somebody else to try to get the ball out of Caitlin's hand. That's why I say the Fever do have a kind of advantage if they utilize it right, if they play smart basketball. You know what I'm saying? And they got to knock down shots. When Caitlin gives them that opportunity to hit shots, they have to hit shots at all times. Now, also, I want to dig into a little bit more of this press conference, because Chrissy size came out. You could tell the pressure is on her now. The pressure is on her, and her job is on the line. And don't know if it's going to be the All-Star break or the Olympic break, but she's pretty much is going to get I think she's going to get her walking papers. I think she's over her head. You have a generation of talent in Caitlin Clark that this league has never seen. You got great players in the league. You have past great players in the league, but this girl is a different breed. You know what I'm saying? And she don't know how to coach her. Now, the guy that I listened to, he said it has to take a Don Staley level coach to coach Caitlin Clark. You just can't give her a sorry ass coach. Just like LeBron. LeBron came in the league. You had, I think, Mike Brown. And then he done had a bunch of different coaches. And you had Eric Spoelstra. Eric Spoelstra probably was the one coach that kind of like was able to coach LeBron. LeBron needs a high IQ coach, because the fact of the matter, Caitlin Clark is a high IQ player. You can't give a low IQ coach a high IQ player. It doesn't work out that way, because the fact of the matter is that Caitlin breaks down the game in its totality in press conference, and you could tell she's a student of the game. She understands the game. You know what I'm saying? And you can't not link her up with a coach like Chrissy Sides. And here she goes.
Christy, why do you feel like the defense hasn't clicked the way you wanted it to yet this season?
I just think we've not had the practice time. That has a lot to do with it. 103 points, it's just too many. We got to get back. We got to find some time to practice to get back to just our shell defense. Just working on, we got to be in help side, then we got to help the helper. That was one of the things we talked about in the game.
Caitlin talked about similar to those with the rotations, especially in that third quarter. What to you thematically has been the issues on that end so far this year?
Yeah, just, we just got to pull over. I mean, is wherever the ball is, if you just go in the direction of the ball on a pass, or you just stay at the level of the ball, like that puts you in a much better position. So we just got to get back and work on it.
Chloe.
I know you kind of mentioned it, but what would you say kind of just went wrong specifically in the third quarter on defense with them scoring 34?
I think we have to do a better job of just keeping the ball in front of us. I think if we do that, then we're not needing so much help. I think we're a no middle team, and we just give up a lot of dribble penetration to the middle. So we got to do better, get our feet right. We got to send it to the sideline, and keep it on one side of the floor and not let them see everything in the middle.
Caitlin said that she feels like sometimes she could better channel her frustration on the court. How are you kind of going about helping her do that in a more positive way?
Look, she's a competitor. I love her fire. We've just got to get better with the officiating. We've got to get some of those calls. I feel like they're getting some calls, or that's happening on our end as well, and I just don't feel like we're getting some of those.
Yeah, and you said the other night that let me get the technicals, and obviously tonight that happened. What does this team mean to you? I mean, even despite the record, it seems like you really, really care about this team and these players in general.
Listen, I took this job last year and they'd won 5 games. And we built a strong culture here that I'm so proud of. And you have to keep getting better, right? Like, we don't want to settle for 13 wins. So now we've got to add players, right? And we've got a great player in Caitlin Clark. We've got a great player in Timmy. We've got a great player in Katie Lou. So now things do change, right? When you get those new players. So then we come to camp and we have just a few days to get ready for our first game. And then we've played more games than anybody without the practice, playing against the best teams in the league. Like, I'm so proud of their fight. They keep coming back. I'm so proud of what they do. I've been, NaLyssa Smith, I took her out of the starting lineup. She's never done anything but come back with, I'm going to do my job. Caitlin's learning. She's fighting. She gets, the whole 40 minutes she's in the game. On both ends, she's getting beat up. She keeps fighting. I've got some great people in my locker room. We're going to keep fighting. We're going to keep fighting, and it's going to click, and we're going to get there. But it doesn't happen overnight.
Scott.
Chrissy, to the point of acknowledging the schedule, how do you strike a balance with instilling what more you need to see with the girls, with at the same time of understanding you do need just some practice time and get to next week?
Yeah, you can't really harp on it because you just don't have that practice time. So you just got to get to the next. Got to get to the next game. We fell short against LA the other night. That was a game. That one hurt. Tonight, you give up 55 points in the paint. That's just winning your individual battle. And we're going to get there. We're going to get better. We're going to get back to working on our shell defense. And we have that opportunity starting out, we got Chicago, but then we have that opportunity next week to have a few days of practice.
Kelsey.
Coach Katie Lou kind of got hot from 3 in the second half. Just how encouraging or promising was that to see her shot fall?
Yeah, she is so hard on herself. She is, she doesn't expect to miss, and I love that. But I was really happy that she was able to get a field tonight. Katie Lou is, she just had a baby. And she's trying to figure it out and get her body back and get her shot back and get the feel and the touch with a new team. And it's coming, and she's working her ass off to get there. They're all working to get there. They're all working to get there by, in a really tough situation.
Jacob, go ahead.
These two teams, the Sparks and the Storm, where you beat the Sparks last week, you were close with the Storm this week. What's been the difference this week in these two games? Has it been the defense from those two games on the road?
Yeah, I think, we're putting up 85-plus points. That's enough to win games. We just got to find a way to get stops.
Matt?
Yeah, what was kind of going through your mind when you got the technical? It just kind of seemed like things had maybe reached a boiling point.
Yeah, I just feel like we need to get the same calls that are happening on the other end. I don't think we're getting some touch calls that, they can go either way. And, our players are trying to drive. Our object is to get to the rim, try to get to the free throw line. We're just not getting those same ones, I don't think. So, they're frustrated, but I'm going to fight like hell for them. And so that's, I was just trying to get them going, get them fired up, let them know that I'm fighting for them.
Anybody else? Got one more from Bob in the corner. Just go ahead, Bob.
All right. So, Chrissy side say she loves Caitlin fire and her passion and stuff like that. But then a couple of games ago, you say, oh, well, she's getting too much text. You want to break her habits. You don't know if you want to cheer Caitlin or you want to be against Caitlin. But what this team needs is for you to be a coach. You need to directly coach this team the right way. You need to coach this team to a level where they can actually be helped. They can't be a team if you don't set up plays, you don't play certain people. If, like Mitchell, like Berger got a lot of playing time last night because Kelsey Mitchell, I don't know what's wrong with her, man. I really feel like Kelsey Mitchell do not like Caitlin Clark, or she don't like passing to Caitlin, or she don't like playing with Caitlin Clark. So it seems like when she's on the floor, she does these things to throw the team out of rhythm because she tries to be selfish. She tries to go one-on-one, and she doesn't help our cause. She doesn't make a general layup to where the layup is good. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, she hits shots, she makes shots, but she needs to play in the confines and can control and understand that this is about to be Caitlin's team. Whether she like it or not, she can either stay or she could go. Because at the Fever end up losing all of these games, and they do get the number 1 pick again, and they get Paige Beckers, or they get Alyssa Morrow from LSU, or they get the girl from UCLA. Guess what's going to happen? Kelsey Mitchell is going to be gone. She's going to be gone. So my thing is this here is that some of these players ain't going to be on this team. I think Alyssa Smith probably still be here. I don't think Timmy will probably be here. She's 31. I think Aliyah Boston. Hell, being honest, if somebody came and coached this team, they might make a trade for Leah Boston to somebody like the Wizards or somebody. Because I think Aliyah Boston, she's nice. She's a good player. But her lack of effort and her drive, she plays soft. If she plays like Cameron Brink or she plays like Angel Reese, if you put Angel Reese on the team right now with Caitlin Clark, if Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark was the team up right now, and you traded away Aliyah Boston to the Chicago Sky and bring Angel Reese over there, you would have more points under the basket. Plus, Angel Reese could double. She could play outside. She could get rebound. She fights hard. Aliyah Boston doesn't fight for rebounds. She plays too softly. She wants to score, but you ain't scoring the ball. You run up and down the court. Hell, I watched Aliyah Smith play more harder than she did last night. Yeah, Aliyah Boston had points. I don't give a damn about that. I give a damn about you playing hard under the basket, fighting for rebounds, making sure these referees call foul. Throw your body in there. Caitlin can't be the only person on the court that's scoring, trying to initiate the offense, and then she gets people wide open and nobody hits shots. Hell, the game was out of hand in the second half. That's why Katie Lou was hitting shots. She wasn't hitting them early in the game. Leo Boston can't stay out of foul trouble. So you left the scoring basically up to Caitlin and not Elijah Smith. And then until Mitchell finally started coming in, you know what I'm saying? And then Mitchell got sat down a little bit because Grace Berger was in the game. And I'd rather see Grace Berger and I'm glad Wallace wasn't in there. I wanted to see Celeste Taylor. But at the end of the day, guys, this team needs an overhaul, to be honest with you. It might be a few pieces that could stay, but this team needs an overhaul. I don't think they'll trade Aliyah Boston because she was their number 1 pick last year. But she got to have a better mindset. She got to be like, you know what, I got Cece back. Me and Cece, let's figure this out. Cece is trying to do everything. She's trying to think the game. Honestly, I ain't know who's a LeBron fan, but I see the same similarities. She's frustrated because she don't have players that could really score. It would make, because the thing about it makes Cece game a little bit easier if her players could score and draw defenses to her. That allows Cece game to open up a little bit more where they can't double her. If your players ain't scoring and getting to make the other team play differently, and they say, well we're going to have to focus on her because they know she's going to get her shot. She's going to score, but we're going to make the others. And that's the game plan. And you can't knock it. It's what it is. But Chrissy size, you got to do better because your time is running out, sister. Your time is running out. And for the commissioner league, they need to have a talk with these referees, man. These referees is not doing the things they need to do for Caitlin Clark. I ain't saying give her every call, but at least say, damn, the girl is getting fouled. Send her to the foul line. And I think what it is, she went to the foul line against the Sparks the other night 15 times. And I think they looked at that and say, hey, well, we can't let her get to the line like that again this game. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. So they got a tough game tomorrow night against the Chicago Sky, and that's going to be very entertaining. That game start at 12 noon. Kickoff at 1, I think. I will be in Atlanta to watch the Braves game, but I will be watching this game as we drive down tomorrow because I'm not missing this game for the world. But unless that, guys, the Jordan rules definitely applies to Caitlin Clark right now. And it's funny because they scared of her. But get her now, because guess what? When she do get the team around her, there ain't gonna be no team in the WNBA gonna beat her. I mean, Chicago Sky gonna be nice. The Sparks gonna be nice. But I'm telling you, if she get the team around her, it's gonna be hard to beat that girl. It's gonna be hard to beat her, period. And then guess what? Players gonna want to go play with her. Watch what I'm telling you. They're gonna want to play with her because of who she is. So until then, guys, have a great weekend. To the next update, I'm out. Peace.